Welcome to my podcast, You Are More. I'm your host, Amy. And as always, I'm excited to be here with you. Today, we're going to be talking about um, things that I've talked about it. I've mentioned it. I've given, just tidbits of thought on it. But we're a society that is in complete transition. If you look at anything, there's nothing that looks as it did 3 years ago. If you look at medical systems, if you look at teams, if you look at like the whole world is changing, right? If you look at, I'm in the real estate business and my industry, there's massive changes going on. I know I have good friends in the church world. There's massive changes going on. I have good friends in business and insurance and investments, and there's change upon change upon change going. It would almost seem like the washing machine, like you're in a washing machine, it just keeps spinning. And sometimes it's so easy to get off center when your world is spinning. For the last 3 years, we've done pivot, 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 adjust, adjust, adjust. And sometimes when life is hitting you, how do you get your center back? Because in your center, in your position of peace, that is where your power is to make good decisions. That's where your power is to move forward. That's where your ability to hear is in your peace. And so many times we've got so many things going on, and the music is so loud, and the noise is so loud, and the TV is so loud, and life is so loud that if you can take a minute. I mean, I'm a big person of a morning routine. I think that morning routines are so critical to your future. They're so critical to your success. I think that how you set your day matters. I think that it's one of the key success things that I look for in other people. I'm always evaluating what their habits and their routines are. And almost every single person that I would say that has really good success, they've mastered their morning routine, and that's a non-negotiable for them. It's not a feeling, it's a non-negotiable. It's not well, that can just go by the wayside and that can go by the wayside. It's a non-negotiable. So that mastery and that point, at least there's that stable point, right? But I also think that his mercies are new every morning. And there's a secret that so many times I'll go to bed at night and I'll have all the weight of the world or the decision making process is going on, or I'm really analyzing and caring and thinking about a situation. Or maybe I've got a problem that needs a solution and I've racked my brain on it and I've hammered on it all afternoon. I still don't have it figured out. I always know that in the morning I'll wake up with the answer. I'll wake up with fresh perspective, a new idea, and a new way to go. It's the morning. There's such a secret in the morning. So if you can master a morning routine, especially when we're walking through the midst of great I mean basically massive transition, right? If you can master your morning routine, at least that becomes a place of stability there, right? So moving forward in transition, you've heard me say you've got to flip the script on things. You've got to flip the script. You've got to move everything you're looking at, everything you're going through. You must continue to flip the script and change the narrative if you want to navigate through it. Because if you don't flip the narrative, it can be woe is me. If you don't flip the narrative in your life, then transition is going to be extremely painful, extremely anxiety causing. But if you can say like this, my times are in his hands. My God supplies all my needs. My times are in his hands and he supplies all my needs. How much anxiety does that eliminate from you? Because then isn't most of our anxiety fear based on what if my needs aren't met? What if I don't have the finances? What if I don't have the people? What if I don't have the health? What if, what if, what if? It's always around the lack. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. I shall not want. My times are in his hands. He perfects that which concerns me. Guys, do you see how flipping those things? My times are in his hands. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. The Amplified Bible says to feed and to guide and to lead. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He restores my soul. That means every day our soul needs to be reset. Every day. Sometimes it's moment by moment. But when you're walking through great transition, guys, that is a great time to really, really, really deeply get those scriptures down in you. The Lord is my shepherd; I shall not want. He's turning all this for my good. My times are in His hands. Because believe it or not, this season in your life is not catching God by surprise. Believe it or not, this season that we're walking through in our country and in the world is not catching God by surprise. It has to pass through the hand of God. Whatever is in your life right now is passed through the hand of God, and it's all working for your good. It's realigning your purpose. It's realigning you. It's setting you up for a different season. It's setting you up for possibly a completely different path, but you have to embrace it. Sometimes I say you have to embrace the suck, right? You have to embrace that you're on a path. You're going to keep putting one foot in front of the other. You're going to keep doing the best that you know to do, because there's a scripture that also says, As thou goest, step by step, I'll open up the way before you." So when you're in the midst of transition, there's this transition is such a difficult place. It's it's a place where you've left one thing, but you're not arrived at the other. Like you're on the boat, you've left the shore, but you haven't arrived, and you're just floating through the middle of sea, and you can't see land anywhere. That describes so many people's lives right now. The boat has left the dock, you're out in the sea, and you can't see land anywhere. And you're completely like my husband's a pilot, and he's, working on his instrument rating, and he's basically, to get instrument rated, you have to be able to fly um basically with instruments, and they put like a blindfold around your eyes. Like, you're not going to be looking at things in the natural. You're going to just be going by your instruments, right? Like, they don't want you doing anything but like keep your eyes off there and just focus on your instruments, so that you're not, because what you see can misguide you. What you see can deceive you. So when you're looking at situations, do you see at things or do you see through things? It's really critical. When you're walking through a transitional things, when you're walking through transition, are you looking at it or are you looking through it? What could be, what will be, right? Because if you're looking at just the situation that you're in, everything could look dark, everything could look hopeless, everything could look like it's filled with obstacles and challenge. But if you can see past it, the biggest thing in transition is you must hold a vision before you. And you might say, "Amy, I have no vision. I'm freaking out. My emotions are a mess. I don't know what to do." If you can get into a quiet place, and I just had a good talk with a friend of mine. She's like, "Amy, just write everything down. Just sit and just start to write. Let your feelings out. Let your dreams out. Just write." She goes, "You're going to be so surprised at what comes out of just writing." And I've found that just getting those things out on the outside of you, then you can get peace to move forward. And there's going to be days that you're going to just have to walk just blind faith that it's all working for your good, that he's making things right for you. The you are more life is literally the life of faith. It's a life of adventure. It's a life that you have to your dreams are so big, and what he has for your life is so big that you cannot possibly accomplish it in your own human standards. You can't possibly accomplish it with your own will. But thank God he adds his super to your natural. He adds his super to your natural ability, and he opens the door for you. He makes a way for you. It's him. It's all him. And therein lies the ability to have peace, right? So if you find yourself in that position, the boat has left the dock, you're in the middle of the ocean, and you don't see land. Here's how you're going to navigate your way through it. Because most drowned in that area. Most fail in the halls of transition. They fail. It's dark. There's not a lot of direction. They're floating. They think it might be one way that they're supposed to go, but they're not 100% sure. Like, most fail in the hallway or in the out in the middle of transition. Their hearts grow weary. They get despondent. They get defeated. The only path out that I know is, "Soul, hope thou only in God," and to literally flip the narrative and say, "This is all working for my good, and my times are in his hands, and he's perfecting that which concerns me." But the way out is the way forward. The way out is you have to continually focus on where it is you're going. You have to get that vision and that clarity down so intently. There has to be a definiteness of purpose. The more definiteness of purpose that you have, the better you can walk through a transition period because you know that it's all lining up and it's all building you, right? You have to think whatever you're walking through in life is building you. There must be something in this season that you have to acquire to be able to walk into your next season. Guys, we're a people of seasons. Like there's time frames and there's seasons and there's patterns and you have to believe that that there are different seasons in your life and that there's constant change going forth, right? You're meant to grow, you're meant to expand, your influence is meant to grow. It's meant to expand. But literally, you have to look at your life and say, I'm walking through this transition. I'm keeping my vision. There's a definiteness of purpose. And if you don't have clarity, that's the worst transition spot in the world is when you left one thing, you know what, that's not going to work anymore. You're not at the other spot and you don't have clarity. Guys, I've been in that situation where I wasn't clear. And it's one of the most frustrating, most desperate feelings when you don't know where you're going, when you're just kind of doing your thing. It's not fulfilling. It's frustrating. It's confusing. But when you get a definiteness of purpose, a definiteness of who you are, things start to open up. Opportunities start to open up. When you're 100% convinced and you know and you have 100% clarity that I am on this earth to do such and such, when you know that and you're clear on your mission, everything else starts to unfold. Here's the thing, when you're out in the midst of transition, your emotions are typically raging like a storm because we like security. We like to know that, that there's this whole illusion that we have control. We don't have control, guys. Not really, right? But we like to think we have control. We like to think that we're in charge. So transition is like so many. When I've walked through transition, I'm telling you, the emotional storms that go off in you, that are taking place in you, they are like it's waves. It's the crashing of waves of fear, of doubt, of frustration, a lack of control, a swirling out of control, because you're in the hall of transition. Here's what I know. When you can go against the emotions, so many times I say to people, you got to tell your emotions to go to hell. I say that often. You got to tell your emotions, go to hell. You don't belong here. I'm going to stay the course. I'm going to do my thing. The only way that I know out of the hall of transition, out of anything, is to act. And most of the time, it is to do something, to give something, to be something to somebody else that's in a different situation than I am. Guys, when I've had seasons where I didn't know exactly what to do, you know what I did? I jumped in. I took a lot more action. I jumped in because I know that action alone creates different seasons. Action creates waves. Action, 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 action. There's nothing else that moves the needle like action. You have to act, right? And when you act with a definiteness of purpose, even when you feel confused about it, but you know that, hey, at the end of the day, I'm going to give to somebody every day. I'm going to be a benefit to somebody every day. I'm going to contribute to someone else's life every single day. Guess what happens? Ah, man, it looks like I might be able to see the end of this. Is that land over there? Huh. This could all come together. Things start to move in motion, but you must put one foot in front of the other. Here's the truth of the matter. All success, all accomplishment in life is actually it's boring. It's all found in the boring and the mundane steps. It's found in the consistent, diligent action. It's not super sexy. It's action. Action, action, action. There's nothing that's going to take you out of a season of transition more than just continuing to follow the path, continuing to follow the course, do as you're led to do. Give as you're led to give. Be who you're led to be, right? Like just keep doing the next thing. As you keep doing the next thing unfolds. And I so wish it was mile by mile that I could figure out what I had going on. But right now, I think most could say this. Right now, it's just I'm just doing the next best thing. I'm doing my next step. I'm doing my next step. Here's what I know. If you're faithful in that and you just keep moving, you will accomplish and you will get out and you will see land. I keep going old school and I don't sing, but I keep saying to myself, on Christ the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. Aren't you glad I don't do that for a living? But I literally keep looking at that's my only foundation. That is my only secure step in him, in him, in him, in him. I live, I move, I breathe, I have my being in him. And he makes my way prosperous. And he gives to me good success. And he teaches my hands to prosper. And he leads me in the way I'm to go. He leads, he guides, he directs. It's all him. So the you are more life is literally the life that's led and guided by the Spirit. It's literally the life that without him, I'm nothing. I can say that 100-fold. Without him, I'm absolutely nothing. Thank God he takes our natural ability, our natural action steps, and he puts his super behind it to create supernatural results. So if you feel fearful in this season, if you feel like you're walking through and you're confused and you have doubt and you don't know what's going on and it all feels like pineapple upside down cake, take hope, take heart, get crystal clear, sit down, write it out, define it, what it is that you want, and then put that picture in front of you and just keep moving forward to it. Even when you can't see land, even when it looks like it's an impossibility, I promise you, as you take movement and action, hold it before you and just keep declaring, he's working this all for my good. He's ordering my steps. I'm not going to misstep. I'm going to accomplish everything I'm on this earth to accomplish. I promise you that hall of transition all of a sudden flips quickly and you find yourself like, this is what it is. I've walked into it. I'm walking into it. Last week I had a situation. I had someone in my office and they have a family member that's going through some pretty serious health issues. And I sat down with them and they were emotional. And I'm like, okay. And I listened to them. And then I started to walk through it and I prayed with them. I talked with them and I walked to my car and I thought, you know what? This is that. This is the differentiator. This is how come we're different around here. My office, this happens all the time in, right? But it's different. It's different. We're teaching people how to walk in victory, how to walk with great success and to build a life of faith and of success and to build generations. We're teaching people how to build generational wealth and to focus on their health and to build great family lives. But that's the difference maker is that I understand my source is not me. It's not humanism. My source is not me. He puts his super on my natural ability and changes all things. So if you're walking through a season, all I can tell you is don't stop. Keep walking, keep pursuing. And the feeling to quit and give in and throw in the towel, literally, sometimes you just have to tell those thoughts, literally, go to hell and reset your mind and reset your hope and get quiet and let peace be your portion and lead you through. That he has a good plan. And everything in this season is working for you. It's working for you. It's building you. It's developing you for your next season. And here's what I also know, that the path grows brighter and brighter and wider and wider. And it's full of provision. So keep walking, throw off discouragement, throw off fear, keep walking, and let him unfold his plan for you. Because what he has for you is much bigger, much better than what you could ever ask for yourself. It's bigger. It's bigger than you could ask, think, or imagine. Remember, you're on this earth with great purpose because you are more. Thanks for joining me Please, if you like this, give it a like, share it with a friend. I so appreciate you tuning in and listening to this every week. And as always, I just want you to keep thinking about it. You truly are more.